What's up, everyone? This is George from Your Local Musician, and this is episode 13 of the Beats in My Bedroom podcast. Now, what I want to talk about today is how isolation has really helped me to focus on achieving what I want to achieve, on finishing projects such as sound packs and things like that, like my new Genesis pack that is on slapexperts.com, and how ultimately what the events of what the world has become since the beginning of, well, not the beginning, sorry, the end of March. Currently, at the time of recording this, we are still in lockdown. We are required to, if we absolutely can, to stay at home for as long as we possibly can right now. We're allowed to go out on walks and things, and there's things that are being lifted, but we are still in lockdown, where you pretty much can't go to many places. So what has, with everything that's happened, what has it done for me? What is the isolation of not being able to go anywhere done for my productivity? And I will be the first to say that it has absolutely improved my output in terms of the amount of work that I do, because ultimately there's no other distractions. There's no restaurants to go to. There's no social events other than Zoom quizzes and things like that. So what has having nothing to do done for my own thing for this? Like, so for instance, in the last few weeks, I've put out a free pack with Slap Experts. I've put out my first paid pack with Slap Experts. Done a lot of promo on it. Works for an entire month solid on that particular Genesis pack itself. So I've really been focused in on delivering what I need to deliver, and the reason ultimately why that is obviously because there's nothing else to do. And after this is all done, whether the lockdown's kind of lifted by the time this actually goes live, I don't know, but if it is, then what I want to take from this experience is, I think every now and then we need to dedicate ourselves to periods of isolation, to periods where you don't go anywhere or do anything, and you focus in on what it is that you're ultimately looking to achieve through doing music. If it's to build an audience, then obviously you need to put an awful lot of time into that, and eliminating distractions, I believe, is the most important thing for actually encouraging you to do the work and do what's actually needed to do whatever it is that you want to do. It doesn't matter whether you're in music or not. So when lockdown is lifted and we can kind of go back to what we had before, I want to dedicate myself to, every so often, maybe a week and a half out of the, well, maybe sort of 2 weeks, sorry, out of the month, completely zone myself in on not going anywhere and doing what I need to do to actually achieve what it is, what I want to achieve. And that changes. Ultimately, what I want to do does change, but when it comes to the creative sort of side of the products that I produce, but the main goal of what it is that I'm trying to achieve in life never really changes. I want freedom. I want to be able to do what I want to do when I want to do it, and ultimately be in control of the of my own fate. and having assets behind you is ultimately how you can do that in the long run. So if you're making money right now online, whether you're selling beats or whether you're selling kits, stash some of it away. Save the good, save a very good proportion of it. Because the one feeling that I had when lockdown hit, it was that this wouldn't really affect me too much if I had a mass amount of money behind me, because ultimately that's what, whether you come out good or bad on this, that's what it depends on, if you've got money to keep you afloat and to keep you safe. Because we all want to do what we want to do, but ultimately it needs to pay. Lots of people have lost their jobs. I am lucky enough to have kept my job, but it's just that overall feeling of when it first hit of, if this happens again, I want to make sure that my family's all right, that I'm all right, that my fiance's all right, that we protect ourselves in the most of best ways, if that makes any sense. I kind of sort of lost track, but just, like, isolation has helped, and even when this is lifted, I want to dedicate myself to having periods of isolation, but also enjoying a little bit of life. You can't really create music too much, I don't think, unless you experience things, and that's what songwriters do. Like, I believe when Ed Sheeran took his latest break, his what part of his reasoning behind taking the latest break after the number 6 collaborations project is that how is he supposed to write music about life if he's not experiencing it? And that applies to any creative, I think. Not if you're just a songwriter. If you're a beat maker, then I believe you should be making beats around what happens to you. Now, don't get me wrong, we're not putting that into lyrics, of course, but if you're a beat maker, obviously, if something sad has happened to you, then generally you might, to get those thoughts and feelings out, you might make a sad beat. If you're chill most of the time, like I am, you'll end up making chill music, and you're making music about what you feel and what you feel like. And I believe that's the best way to approach your art as a music producer, is to just do what you want to do and always focus on that. Trends are not set by following other trends. Like, don't get me wrong, if you want to jump on the type beats thing and do type beats and sort of mimic other people's styles to get your sales up, that is definitely a way to do it. That works, of course it does. But if you're happy to do that, then do it. But if you're not happy doing that, like I really wasn't, so I stopped doing it, and now I'm gradually starting to find my purpose, and that's what isolation is making me sort of realise. It's allowing me to just be with my thoughts and sort of reflect on, if I'm going to make this a success, then I need to do what I can see myself doing happily for the next 20 odd years. And with the money that you create with that, invest it back into assets like houses and real estate and all that. That's all I want to achieve. And if that comes at the age of 40, 50 or whatever, then I'm good. If it comes in the next couple of years, then I'm retiring at 35, mate. I don't care. Like, I want to be able to ultimately, at the end of the day, be able to do music just for the love of doing it, and that's what I'm doing right now with the beats. But I want to create generational wealth that can be passed down to my kids, if I have kids, in the future, and that's the goal at the end of the day, and that is what isolation is making me realise. So, guys, that was episode 13 of the Beats in My Bedroom podcast. If you are on the YouTubes, then please hit the subscribe and notification bell. If you're on any of the audio platforms, then do whatever it is to make sure that you're notified. Because if you don't get notified, then you're not going to hear the next one, are you?